House of Lords Select Committee on HIV and Vice Chair of the United Kingdom All-Party Parliament Group on HIV and AIDS.
Thank you very much, and good morning. First, I congratulate Andre and his colleagues on what they have achieved. And let me make it clear that unlike the experts that you have on this table, I am a mere politician. I used to be Health Secretary with Margaret Thatcher for 6 years, and one of the crucial parts of my job then was to introduce the policy on what was then the new challenge of HIV/AIDS. And on harm reduction, at that time, 86, 87, we introduced a policy of clean needle exchanges. There was some opposition to that. People said it was going to lead to an increase in crime, but we went ahead, and so did a number of other countries, including France and including Australia. The result in the United Kingdom has been, ever since, that new infections, because of injecting drug use, is about 2% of new infections, and has been consistently for the last 25 years. People who said there was going to be an increase in crime were proved to be entirely wrong. There's been no increase in crime, and the same is true around the world. So the first point I make is that, frankly, there is, and I go around the world, people say that they will have a pilot project here or a pilot project there. There isn't any need for a pilot project. All the evidence is actually there. And you simply have to read the book, and there it is. The second point I make is on Ukraine itself. I went there a few months ago. I spent some time there, and I pay great tribute to the Alliance for the work that they have done. Without the Alliance, Ukraine would have not made the progress that it has made. I mean, it's as simple as that. I'm looking back on my old notes on the meetings I had there, and I say that without the work of the Alliance, the position would be dire. The same is true of other harm reduction programs like methadone substitution, although the Deputy Minister of Health said that they'd be introducing a scheme on methadone next year. They have no plans for clean needle exchanges. So the Alliance bears the brunt of responsibility there, and it is a very big one. I think it just has to be said that is not remotely, it seems to me at any rate, from my visit to Ukraine, the end of the problem as far as Ukraine is concerned. I've been, over the last 12 months, going around the world and looking at HIV in different parts of the world, from Ukraine to Uganda. And the one thing that has struck me in all that time has been the amount of stigma and discrimination that there remains today against particular groups who actually happen to be the target groups when it comes to a prevention policy, as Michelle was mentioning its importance of prevention policy, on these problems. Stigma against gay people, lesbians, stigma against drug users, stigma against sex workers. In Kiev, I had a meeting. We tried to bring all of them together, and it was a very good meeting. And afterwards, the leader of the sex workers said, could she have a photograph taken with me? So, being a politician, of course, I said yes. And she was rather embarrassingly grateful, because it was the first time that any politician had ever said that they would have a photograph taken with her. In fact, I'm not sure it's not the first time she's ever met a politician. And I just have to say this, and it isn't unique about Ukraine, I really will tell you. I mean, if we go to many parts of the world, it's even worse. But unless we as a globe, as a world, tackle that problem, then we're always going to fall behind in this issue, because if you don't cooperate with these groups, then you're going to be in terrible difficulties on people coming forward for testing, for example. There's no point in coming forward for testing if you think you're going to be discriminated against, and in some parts of the world you're actually prosecuted. So there are big issues ahead, and big issues remain. But I think for the time being and for the purpose of this meeting, all I would say is congratulations to the Alliance on what they've done in Ukraine. Congratulations also to the Global Fund, because without the money of the Global Fund and resources of the Global Fund, that would not have been possible. And then you come to the new challenge, which is we have a crucial challenge about the Global Fund and the financing for it. We are, I think, basically at a tipping point in the world at the moment. We can go forward, or we can just say, well, actually, we've come so far, and now we'll take our foot off the accelerator. Frankly, if we do that in terms of funding, then I think the whole issue is going to go backwards. And that, I think, is the challenge as far as the next months are concerned. The Global Fund is trying to raise resources now. It's having, I was in Washington last week, it's having, I think, a certain amount of success, certainly as far as I can judge from Washington, it's having success there. It needs success all around the world. We need to keep the whole process going. So that's what I wanted to say, but above all today, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Fowler. Я сейчас переведу и постараюсь саммаризировать и подвести то, что сказал уважаемый лорд Норман Фаулер. И он поздравляет Альянс и Глобальный фонд с тем успехом, что есть в Украине. И как политик он должен сказать, что решение, которое когда-то в Великобритании он принял по внедрению и снижению вреда в стране, не привели к тем ужасам, которые прогнозировали, а скорее показали, что в мире нет необходимости для пилотирования снижения вреда, потому что уже есть вся доказательная база. И это снижение вреда доказано влияет на эпидемию и никаким образом не вредит криминальной обстановке и не вредит ситуации в стране. Если говорить про Украину, то, конечно же, Альянс сыграл огромную роль в том, что снижение вреда и программы профилактики были внедрены. И, встречаясь с правительством Украины, лорд услышал, что да, заместительную терапию правительство уже готово внедрять, но если говорить о обмене шприцев, то здесь ключевая ответственность неправительственных организаций, в частности Альянса Украина. Последние 12 месяцев лорд ездит по разным частям мира, от Украины до Уганды, и везде вопрос стигмы и дискриминации уязвимых групп, целевых групп для целевой профилактики является ключевым. Это лесбиянки, геи, это потребители наркотиков, это секс-работники. И лорд вспомнил ту встречу с сообществом, которая у нас была в Киеве, и к нему подошла лидер секс-работниц у нас в Киеве, лидер организации Legal, и попросила сфотографироваться. Она была очень растрогана и сказала, что это впервые она фотографируется с политиком такого уровня, потому что наши политики не хотят видеть маргинализованные и эти целевые группы. И такая ситуация не уникальна для Украины. И это самое главное препятствие для того, чтобы услуги были доступны во всех странах мира. И сейчас главное испытание для глобального фонда, который главным образом повлиял на успех этой ситуации в Украине, это средства, которые необходимы для глобального фонда, и это необходимость для Украины, для стран, для потребителей наркотиков, и это последовательность программ и передача программ на государственные средства. Thank you very much. And